The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Long before the sects divided, there was the enveloping darkness. It was in this dark humanity learned to trust the light, to run from shadows, and most importantly, to fear.
Brutality and superstition walked hand in hand in this dark time, but also hope. Hope that the heroes of this age could hold back the monsters and illuminate the path through the shadows.
The children of Cain are no different. Some run from the shadows, some turn to the light, and some become the monsters of legend passed down from one hearth to another.
Their story is one of loss, one of struggle, and one of death. For what can survive in the wake of those that cannot die?
This is what it means to be a myth made flesh. This is what it means to be a vampire in the Dark Ages.
Welcome to our Vampire Dark Ages stream. We here at McStabber Studios understand that some of the subjects that come up during this chronicle are problematic by modern standards. Our goal is to handle these kinds of situations in a manner that does not directly or indirectly glorify these kinds of actions. While we understand that we are playing in a world of monsters, that does not mean we must be the monsters ourselves. Please also be aware, none of our cast are experts in history. That means there will be some deviations between the real world timeline and the vampiric world. You can go ahead and chalk that up to the Cainite influence on the mortals around them. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy our story. And good evening, everyone. Welcome to McStabber Studios' Vampire Dark Ages Glimpses of History. The year is 1314, and I'm, of course, the storyteller, Shanky McStabber.
And I am Mama McStabber, and I'll be playing Saint Olga of Kiev, equal to the apostles. Of Clan Lasombra, sorry. My brain is so fucking just on breaks today.
I'm Junie Vanish. I'm playing Peregrine McSullivan of Clan Assamite, who pretends she's of Toreador.
And hello, I'm Maddox, and I will be playing Snatcher of Clan Nosferatu.
As everybody can see, Revenus Archon Augustine is not here tonight. And, hey, it happens. We understand why. And we hope to see him next week join with us. I'm not going to talk about anything more about it. Nothing is, he's not leaving the cast.
He's not leaving the cast. He will be back. He's just been a bit ill and he's getting better. So It's wonderful.
So we will be having him back next time, though. Don't worry. I hope he'll be back next week. So where we were last week, they had begun their journey to go pick up Goretrix. And along the way, they stopped in a town that had no name. It was a great chance for their ghouls to get a night's rest that wasn't them out in the rain and the wet and the storms. But while there, they met a Tzimisce named Vladislav, rather minor Tzimisce who, on the sheer pecking order, is pretty much towards the bottom. I mean, he has a town that he claims is his own, but doesn't even have a name on the map. And then as they set forth from there, they actually ran into a very odd individual called the Chronicler, who appears to be a Malkavian of some kind. And through all of this, Augustine was obsessed with a certain necklace that a member of this group has carried and now hidden upon them somewhere or hidden in them somewhere, depending on how you want to ask the question. And as we open up tonight, the chronicler has gone. You are still in your camp. You're stuck there in the storms. When you hear a horse riding up towards your campsite, which is really pretty much off to the side of the road. But even through the storm, you can hear the hooves splashing. They're riding hard.
I mean, the storm will obscure, like, basic line of sight, right? If I'm just not obfuscated and leaning out to look, I won't be
We
like...
have guards anyway to intercept.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there's a couple that, even in the rain, are stuck out through the night.
Of course. It's their job.
And you hear, barely over the rain, a guard say, "Halt." And a horse that tries to stop in the rain, and it doesn't do too well. It's all mud.
Yeah.
But as the guard, one of them comes forward, comes over to the group of y'all. "My lord, ladies, there's a Vladislav here. You met him in the village back."
Allow him in.
"Yes, my lady." And he comes back, and shortly thereafter, he brings Vladislav, walking his horse, of course, to you. Now, Vladislav, he's been in the rain this whole time. He didn't have a wagon. He's been riding it without any kind of cover. So he is drenched, but rather than the clothes he was wearing before, he's in obvious traveling clothes, loose tunic.
I'm sure like a tanned leather cloak.
He's got an oiled cloak.
An oiled cloak, yeah.
That is trying to keep the water off, but he was riding hard enough. That's not going to help. It's just going to push all the water behind the cloak itself. And as he comes up and sees you all, he flips his hood back. "Well met again."
I take it is something urgent, Vladislav, for you to rush through the rain to get to us.
"I wanted to catch you before you got more than a day's journey for me to catch up. Thankfully, you're on wagons. Makes it a little easier for me to catch you." This is hard for me to say.
Spit it out.
I need your assistance with something. I know you said you have important business, but rest assured this won't take long. And you're uniquely suited to help me with this particular problem.
What's the problem?
I have an issue with a Hungarian Ventru.
Oh.
Who is expecting me to be paying tribute. Now, I am but one K-Knight with my own little city, my own little problems. But you all have a reputation that I've already heard about of not giving a fuck about the Hungarian Ventru and, frankly, not being worried about retaliations against you. Whereas they can retaliate against me rather easily. You all are not in that problems I have, you see?
What has this Hungarian Ventru done to you?
Demanded tribute?
Huh. I wonder if they all carry the same script.
Yes.
They probably do.
Yes, all of those fucking blue bloods of Hungary think they own this land and they don't. And while I could destroy him, that would cause a lot more pressure on me. Whereas if you all did it,
to it is that you would basically be crushed underfoot.
They would send whatever it took. Right. And yes, I'm sure the Nez that I talked to, my lord would retaliate back, once the bug is crushed underfoot, you'll find you can't put it back together.
Exactly.
That wouldn't help me at all. I would already be done.
I see what you want. Where can we find him? I will give him a tribute, all right.
He is in a village about 2 days west of here.
All right.
Now, his name is Bartos.
Bartos.
Yes.
Fucking Roman name.
Well, of course. And his tribute he's demanding is half of the damn food I have in the village. Or an equivalent value of gold and silver, which my village doesn't have. We're not a rich village.
Have some of your villagers pack up crates of refuse and mud.
Okay.
Load them on whatever wagons you can spare, and we will deliver his tribute.
I like where you're going with this.
And if he doesn't like it, well then.
I'm sure the farmers have some excess manure we can load in there as well.
And if not manure, then whatever hasn't been composted already will work.
There's just enough time for me to get back. If you help me with this in return, I'm sure we can come to an arrangement where the Lord who does not protect me is no longer my Lord.
I'm sure we can come to some kind of arrangements. Have your people do so during the day. We will be by tomorrow evening to pick up the tribute for delivery.
Perfect. Then I must get riding back to have this done to get back before daybreak. It will take you most of the day to get back, but that means by the time your wagons return to the town, I will have everything in order.
Absolutely. Vladislav, thank you for coming to us with this. We shall handle it, and then we will discuss the payment for our services.
Of course. And he bows low and hops on his horse, and then he doesn't immediately gallop. He rides it slowly through the camp.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as he clears the guards, like a bat out of hell, his horse already quite winded, but apparently it's been ghouled because if he's been riding it as hard as he said he has, there's no way in hell he should have been able to do it with one horse. As he takes off back towards the village is still being generous for his town, but we'll go with that. I turn it over to the players to have their discussion on it.
He's cunning.
Very cunning.
Mm-hmm.
He knows his master doesn't have the ability to do what we can. He is looking for a new master that will recognize his cunning.
And its willingness to do what he needs to do for its people.
Indeed.
I appreciate that.
Every example of true nobility I have ever met has predominantly been of the clan Zamisi. I'm impressed at every turn. And of course, I'll glance at Olga, the odd La Sombra here and there.
I know I am a rare one. Yes. The Ventru will be highly offended when his people open the crates and find refuse and mud as the tribute.
It's what he's asking for, pretty much.
Even Even though it would be some of the best soil to ever grace that place.
Exactly. If he's too much of an idiot man to know what to do with it, you can start a fucking farm with the mud and the refuse. It is not an empty tribute, but it is to one that is an idiot.
They don't really understand.
His ego will block him, his intelligence, and he will be offended.
And this will make the second Ventru that we've dealt with.
Hey. Snatcher, you should turn around and see if we can get this one to frenzy.
Just tell him he's just a rich bruja.
No.
You're not wrong.
No, I want to see what this Ventru's like. Insults must be personal.
Oh, well crafted then. Interesting to see what you'll do.
Absolutely. This will be well.
And if it's a Ventru, maybe there's enough things I can take where we can distribute his wealth back to Vladislav in some way.
Or the people in the lands. Yes.
Whoever needs it.
Whoever needs it. I will go request that Augustine stay with the bulk of our camp.
There should be at least one of us.
Yes. And he is good with the gods, so we will travel a bit lighter to escort this tribute.
No. It'll be entertaining to see what they actually have. Oh, I just sent those missives out to my contacts, so hopefully we'll get a better trade deal with some of the places that are actually doing better with grain than what is going on here.
Good.
I'm not going to have us not have any food for them. And knowing that Egypt and the Peninsula Plain, ironically enough, where Augustine is from, they don't have much problem with the grains there. So let's see if we can make a little bit of a contact,
Yes.
The more contact we spread in the right places, we can grow a bit more, I hope, at least.
That is good.
Well, back to town to collect manure, and then we are on our way.
Yep. I will be going to put my cloak on, my oiled cloak on, to go out to tell Augustine that we'd like for him to stay.
And he tells his little sister that he will keep an eye on the camp until you are done this.
Okay. And we prepare to start traveling because it's going to take part of the night and the day to get back.
Mm-hmm. So you'll take one of your wagons with enough guards and to manage it to do the trip back. Though you'll have to wait because they need sleep this night. So it'll be most of the daytime trip to get there. But considering you were one day out, it should take you about a day back. So you should get back by the next night. And so you set off to return to where you came from. And once again, you arrive in this small, no-name village. But this time when your wagons come up and you're let out after dark, you get there actually, you waken before you reach the town, just shortly before you reach the town. So you actually get to ride into town. And as you're riding into the small town there, the village, there is already a cart loaded with their casks and barrels just piled up.
Good.
And Vladislav is directing the last ones being loaded as you're pulling up.
We have brought an extra few horses to tie to the cart to have it led.
Oh, he's got horses attached to it.
Well, we weren't.
That is your backup horses, I guess.
That can be backup horses, and we didn't want to put out his people for their horses.
No, he's obviously got a few.
We understand it's a slightly poor town.
Well met again.
Well met, Vladislav.
It's good to see you've come. I expected it would have taken you slightly longer, but I guess you left a portion of your group behind to speed up the process.
We are traveling a bit lighter. We will take care of this as swiftly as possible.
If you take this road here, you will go about 2 days. It's the only way to go on this road. Like most of the roads here, they either go to a village to a city or from a village or from a city.
Indeed.
You will find him. There's an inn there called the Plow Horse. Odd name for an inn. But he had told me to bring my tribute there.
All right. We will take care of it.
Are you going to stay the night or are you going to just set out right away?
We will stare out right away. We do not wish to burden your people.
As I said, I do appreciate your assistance with this.
Of course.
I'll pleasure with this one.
It shows that you are understanding and that you are from the land beyond the forest. You won't bow to the Hungarians any more than anyone should in this land.
Please, I am from Kiev. And she gets back in the cart.
We should have this mess cleared away in no time.
I do thank you. And you set your guard, the few guards you brought with you, 2 of your wagon drivers. You got 2 of your cooks with you. I know Olga probably brought at least her bodyguards.
Oh, yeah, she has her ghouls with her.
Yep.
Yes.
And you all set down this road. And as you're going down the road, you feel the rumble. There's an earthquake going on as you're moving. You don't stop. The horses are rather upset at it. But then again, let's be fair. These are Transylvanian horses.
They know weird shit is afoot.
I think they're used to the lightning, the thunder, the earthquakes, and the winds.
Look, the fact that there's wild animals anywhere existing after Kupala's night is... They're tough animals.
They are hardy damn beasts.
So you all set out. Please, I want to get a wits awareness. Or sorry, perception awareness, not wits. It's perception in this game. Perception awareness.
Does my eyes in the back of my head help me?
Of course, I'll let you have that.
Snatcher doesn't like getting snuck up on.
Does my cunning on wits apply?
Sure, why not?
And you said alertness was the other one?
Awareness. Alertness is for mundane. Awareness is for supernatural.
Oh, ironically, it's the same dice number.
Difficulty will be 6. I'm going to roll opposed for once, though. Dun, 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 dun. Wow. With the new mic, we can hear Maddox roll now, which is awesome.
I got 6 successes.
6. Everyone likes to hear the clacky of math rocks.
On
5.
Awareness.
Got 5, 6.
2.
2. So Snatcher, your eyes in the back of the head apparently are looking the wrong direction.
They're sleepy right now.
Yeah, and that's because I got a 10 that I got 2.
As you're moving,
shit roll.
During one of the lightning strikes, it lit up the sky enough that far ahead, not above you, but kind of behind where you just came from, there's something in the air, large, misshapen, flying.
Did you see that?
What?
Hey? Hey,
What is that?
I mean, we could always try and cool it down and ask it, but I don't know exactly.
I don't see what you're talking about.
Wait for the lightning again and look behind.
And it don't take long before there's another lightning lit up the sky. And now, Snatcher, you see it too. It's large, misshapen. It's quite high. It's hard to judge how big it is because you don't have a reference point, but your guess is it's big.
Moving towards us?
You can't tell.
Well, if it is flying, it will move faster than our horses on the ground. If it is trying to reach us, it will be able to do so.
Hey, he'll be upon us soon, at least.
So we can keep going, and if it catches up, it catches up.
Very well.
Do you want me to be at the ready?
Yes, advise the gods that are with us to be at the ready.
Like,
That's. Do you tell him what to be ready for?
large, misshapen flying object.
That
a
kind of
UFO?
spooks him a bit. Yeah.
And she'll have her weapons ready too, so.
I mean,
Cowardice is not a virtue.
there's a lot of, shrug Transylvania, but large flying misshapen thing I don't think is normal even for them.
Aye, she'll call it a UFO. An unidentified flying object. You can't identify it. It's flying.
UFO?
And it is an object.
Unidentified flying ugly object?
Well, I don't know what it looks like yet. All I know is it's misshapen. I can't say it's ugly or not now, do I?
So for the entire first night, you travel. And now that you're looking for it, sometimes you lose sight of it. Sometimes you see it a little bit closer. Other times you lose sight of it again. This particular night, you didn't stop to make camp. You were pushing a haste. Now your guards aren't going to be happy. You're definitely going to have to make a camp the next night. But considering how many ghouls that Olga brought that can handle a lack of sleep, they'll probably be driving wagons in the morning. So you're not sure if they're looking for you or not. But you never completely go without seeing them at least once in a while. But as morning comes, you lose sight of it about an hour before dawn. Especially as the storm started to ease up. And instead of rain, now it's a cold wind blowing like constantly, like heavy wind. Buffets your wagon rather hard, actually.
I wonder if it is like us and must sleep during the day.
What if? No, it wouldn't. They couldn't have done it, could they? No.
We are messing with Tremere assholes.
Aye, exactly what I'm thinking.
Wonder
It's
if
not
they have
one of
sent
their-
a gargoyle to watch our progress.
Exactly.
Ugh.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Maybe it could be reasoned with and talked to.
If it is a slave to them, I doubt it.
But what if it happens to one of those unfortunate souls that were re-put together?
I'd sort of assumed that they all were. Who knows? Maybe part of it is my cousin.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let us rest and we will deal with it tomorrow night.
And
If it approaches, it approaches.
with the rising of the sun, you do the sleep of the dead. On the plus side, you don't have to worry about the wind buffeting your wagon. But as the night settles and you wake up, you realize the cold that had come in, the cold wind, the temperature has steadily dropped. And you wake to a layer of snow on the ground, which is a little bit, you're not high in the Carpathians. You're used to snow that time of year. But this is unnaturally cold and unseasonably cold. And you don't expect to see snow this time of year. But snow it is. Not a lot yet. But it's gotten cold enough that the muddy ground now has solidified a bit more. So it makes the going a little easier, other than the fact that your horses have to walk a little slower in snow.
But it's also still heavily, walked, right? Like, it's not a flat road that we're on.
It's got
'Cause of the
ruts.
mud.
It's not paved. It's
Yeah.
not like, this
Got
isn't
ruts.
a Roman road where they've already laid the stone.
It's got ruts and deformations where horse hooves, dug holes in as they were running.
Mhm.
Just,
It's a rough ride.
But as you're setting in camp this night, because you can't do another whole night, after doing the previous night of riding, you can't do another night of riding. You set up camp. I assume people are looking for the shape.
Fuck yeah.
Now, you rode all day after being riding night. So early in the evening, you don't see it. Now, remember, because it's snowing, the clouds are a lot brighter now because the moon reflects off the snow crystals, which causes that, you got that light gray tint. And though it makes visibility low, it does make anything abnormal in the sky easier to see once it gets close enough. You all need a scene to talk about what you've seen or your plan going into it, because you know that by the time you wake again after you sleep, with the coming of dawn, you should be in this town. This is your last night to discuss your plans before you roll up in there on them.
Okay, so my idea is this Ventru is sitting here nice and cushy in a warm inn while the people toil the lands, and he thinks he is owed tribute. He does nothing to help said people. He just thinks he is deserving of this tribute based on his existence.
Which is rather pitiful, if you ask me.
It is pathetic. He will be likely offended by the offering. It is what the people can spare.
If he's going to be offended, he really doesn't know the people. Therefore, he doesn't deserve to rule.
Exactly.
I think, depending on what he is, he shouldn't continue existing.
It depends. If he has a shred of intelligence, he will run when told to. Run right back to Rome.
How many times has that happened in our existence?
Like I said, if he has a shred of intelligence, he will run. He is out of his depth. And if he does not, then we end him. That is my thoughts. If you have other thoughts, either of you, please share.
I mean, I think you're being very grateful and generous in this, giving him the chance to run, that it is. I've seen no sparing Ventru in my days. They're all worthless.
I get it. No, it's just that when he knows who I am, he will know what I am capable of.
Oh, but here's the thing. We're assuming he knows, and he didn't just transplant himself in here and said, I'm Lord and here I am. I don't think he has a bit about him to know exactly what's going to go on.
Oh, trust me, the Ventru like to do rumor mills just as much as the Toreador.
They have the intelligence for that.
The difference is their rumors tend to actually be reliable.
That's true.
But we shall see how he reacts. It all depends on his reaction, is what I'm thinking. And we will have guards at the ready to handle any people that he tries to get involved.
Perhaps it will be a blue moon, and it will be a Ventru who is willing to negotiate.
We shall see.
I mean, true.
But I will tell you, I am not inclined, considering he wishes to draw blood from stones.
Agreed. This is sad. Really, it is.
And I will say, most Ventru I have experienced seem to be overconfident in their ability to survive and endure.
They don't have the backbone.
I will admit I come from a different location when it comes to Ventru. The Ventru that I am aware of are insufferable but established. This will be too easy to push over, I feel.
I get you. Londinium is a different place. Here in Transylvania and in the lands east of Transylvania, Ventru are not as well established. They tried in the early days of Rome and failed. Now they try again. and the Arpad Ventru have already failed.
I've always thought of that clan as more of a secure your holdings, do not encroach.
Oh, they have grand plans of empires and expansion. Grand plans.
They move too fast even for that.
Indeed. They do not understand the nature of true empires, as all their empires have fallen.
That is why it is better not to rule.
It is better to strive for more once you fully understand how to manage what you hold. And can do so securely and look to advancement, knowing that what you currently hold will still be secure. That is how in life I expanded the influence and rule of Kievan Rus. I understand how to rule. And these Ventru playing at being princes make me laugh.
This is true. They don't understand it at all. I mean, they've got more blue balls than they actually have blue moves to become the rules of anything, to be honest. I mean, seriously. You dangle a little thing in front of them, and they go up and all over, and then you just keep dangling it until they have blue balls in the face, and then they don't know what to do anymore.
I believe the ones sent here are, relatively speaking, now, that does not mean actually, but relatively speaking, young and trying to prove themselves.
It almost seems like the older Venture are simply thinning their useless numbers.
Culling the herd.
You are smarter. You are smarter than you give yourself credit for, Snatcher.
Aye.
If I didn't know the La Sombra did it first and better, I would be more impressed.
I believe there is a shade somewhere in the sky now because that came from you.
There is something in the sky. It's a black dot. Seems to be rapidly approaching.
Okay.
Oh, look at what call me a seer. There you are.
I know it probably won't be this way anyways, but I'm going to tell all my rats to hide just to make sure. Like hide, be quiet, stay safe.
And you can see it's getting bigger. Coming closer. Appears to be rather large. You can finally, as it's getting closer, make out wings. Large wings on its back. And
Not
then
gonna lie, it's kind of cool.
It's moving fast enough. It's actually kind of hard to believe that how fast it zooms. Side note, just so you're aware, a gargoyle can do 60 miles an hour, which in this era
is fucking insanely fast.
Yeah. Because as it comes in, suddenly it spreads its wings wide in a braking maneuver. And this large, its skin looks stonish, but it's not. It's just gray colored creature with giant wings, talons for hands, clawed feet. It stops and lands in your camp and just stands there staring at you.
Elena will stand and approach, and she is looking at it with curiosity, noting the details, and says, just barely mutters under her breath, "That is what they did to you."
Haven't you strayed from your mission?
It is only a small side trip to resolve an issue that will arise on our return trip if we do not address it now.
You have to escort him back.
Of course
he has been summoned.
Of course we will. We already know he's not going to want to come, but he doesn't likely have a choice. We will get him and bring him.
What we are doing is repayment for a favor. It is far better to pay those back in full. This detour means nothing in the grand scheme.
Our word will be taken care of. You have no worries on that.
My mistress sent me to check on you.
Tell your
Tell your
mistress that we must address this issue to ensure we have a clear passage back to deliver Golatrix. And we will deliver Golatrix as agreed.
I will make sure to inform Verstania. Why
When
are
can we
you
have
so
you-
silent, little Nosferatu? See something that bothers you?
And it's at this point that a bloody tear probably runs down Snatcher's cheek. It's nothing.
Mm.
Can we have your name, please, sir?
Augustus.
Pleasure, Augustus.
And he gets a grin that in no way is friendly. Because it's all teeth. I'm sure it's a pleasure. The pleasure
wouldn't it
is all
be?
yours, of course.
I haven't seen someone like you before, so it is quite a pleasure to meet somebody that has such a way of handling himself.
Normally, those who meet my kind and don't live to spread the tale.
Yes, well, your master
Glad we
wishes
can.
us to complete a task, so...
My mistress, not my master.
Oh, that's interesting. You serve her willingly.
We all serve Verstania, mistress of gargoyles.
It doesn't mean you do so willingly. Now,
It is our purpose.
Hmm.
It is what we do.
I see they not only changed appearances with you all, they also changed your minds. Now, we will do what is delivered. We will deliver what we have promised. However, if we do not address this, delivery will be complicated. That is why we are solving it now.
I suppose it was a couple of days. We'll still do the deed.
We hope so. It
There's
would
no hope.
be unfortunate if we had to retrieve him.
Augustus, you don't know us very well. When we say we're going to do something, we're going to do it whether or not, and it will be completed.
No, I don't know you. You do not have the stink of Zemitzi on you.
No.
Why should I?
Well, most in this land do.
So you assume.
Assume is an interesting word.
'Tis, isn't it? If you spell it, it comes out a bit more clearer.
Hmm. I do not spell or read or write.
Well, that's
None
most
of that is
unfortunate.
necessary for my job.
Well, let me spell it out for you in the English. ASSUME does make an house out of you and me, if you assume.
I get that joke.
You're welcome. Thought you would.
Hey, storyteller.
Yes.
Snatcher would like to make 2 rolls.
Okay.
First, perception empathy.
Okay. What are you looking for?
Is he in pain?
Okay. Difficulty will be 6.
Okay. One success.
Doesn't appear to be.
Okay.
And what's your other roll?
My second one is one that I need to ask about because I'm not sure what I'd roll. I just want to see if I can figure it out. Is he bloodbound?
You don't have auspex.
I do not. I'm trying to do this through mundane information gathering.
I doubt there's a way for you to do it through mundane. You'd have to use read the soul would be one of the better ways to do it.
I have that, and that's an excellent idea, if I can.
You can. You get to roll perception empathy.
I'm gonna
Difficulty is
rouse-
6, of course.
Okay, I am going to rouse perception, and I pass.
Actually, no, sorry. Difficulty is 8.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get some information off of this guy. Let's see. Damn. Empathy. What's my empathy at? Oh, this will be fine. Oh, glad I roused.
Let's see what you get.
That's 4.
4. Well, first off, I will tell you, the aura is a very pale color, which tells you immediately it is considered vampire. This is a Cainite that you see before you. You also notice that the major color is a dark bluish, though again it is pale, which is you've learned that it means he is suspicious of your group. I'll give you those two.
That tracks.
There are hints of light green, of course, which makes him distrustful. As for whether he is bloodbound, there is mixed in his aura a little bit. It's very light, but there's a more of a less of a dark blue, just of a light blue shimmer close to him, which is normally associated with love. And it is quite possible, because most who are bloodbound love those they are bound to, even though it's not really what you would call real love.
Okay. As Snatcher's doing his thing, she's going to look him over and start taking notes.
I will go and inform my mistress.
Aye, please do. Tell her we look forward to seeing her when we complete our mission.
Be sure to hurry, ground walkers.
And tell her if she can do anything to improve the weather that would help us be more expedient.
Aye.
If she could improve the weather, I would have found you days ago.
Oh, you were searching for us. That's sweet.
Safe travels back to your mistress. And she turns.
And he
Bye-bye.
jumps into the air. And when he jumps, first he just kind of jumps up and his large wings flap a little, and you can feel the wind displaced by him. And then he starts building speed, and you've never seen anything move this fast. As the speed rapidly builds up until he's almost shooting away from you.
I really have to up my celerity. I found out some things about him.
Oh, yeah?
Well, naturally, he's kindred.
Of course.
Of course, he was, suspect of us as well as distrustful. But here's a little bit of the fun. He may have a bit of a bond with her naturally, and he has a sense of love.
Oh, he is
How about
certainly
that?
bonded to her.
Oh, absolutely. The way he
Because
talked about her?
the way he talked about her, no, that's not his master, that's his mistress. Yeah, no. He is a slave.
Oh, absolutely. But
He
at
has
least we
been
got to talk to him.
conditioned. I see it. Not only
Aye.
in body, but in mind. He has been conditioned to serve.
That's a pity. Could have used one of those.
I think he is likely combination Gangrel and Nos. The things he said, his mannerisms, reads that.
His teeth.
Indeed.
She'll gently pat Snatcher's shoulder, as in, like, it's okay.
I haven't felt ill in quite a long time.
I understand. Well, I can't understand, but I do empathize, sympathize with you.
If you need a
Understand?
moment.
If they ever attempt to take you, I will burn their fucking chantry to the ground.
If they ever try to take me, I will diablerize every Tremere I meet.
As you should. As you should.
As long as I can kill a couple of them, that would be grand.
You can have the smaller ones.
Smaller ones!
Because I'm hungry, Peregrine. It happens.
You get hungry?
If I ever have a chance to rescue any of those of my clan who have been changed into these things, please understand that I will try. I will not prioritize it over any of us.
Can you even stake them? How do you get through the stone?
All right.
How could you even feed on them? It would break your teeth.
I will write to Alamut about this. I'm sure our sorcerers will love to know.
Yes, find out how we actually could potentially fight these things. Because that they are armored, literally, head to toe.
And you can assume they at least have the abilities of Nosferatu and Gangrel.
And whatever else others might be mixed with. Yes.
The odd Malkavian, maybe one of their own. Maybe they got bored.
Yeah.
But they're kindred, which means they have to rest. On top of that, they have to feed.
Yes.
Depending on how they feed, I may or may not have a way of killing one of them, but I have to make sure I have the right one.
And I would ask, killing as a last resort for those.
Of course. How do we incapacitate? How do we deal with them?
Well, swords do break stone.
Well-made chain could probably bind one. We don't even know if they're all built for strength like that one clearly was.
Oh, I'm certain they aren't. Because that one was definitely a scout.
Can you imagine if they had a godforsaken army of them all?
Oh, I imagine that's what they've been doing.
I am less intimidated of armies and more those who create them.
Absolutely. As you should be.
I'll write Alamut about all of this. See if they've even thought about it. And see what actually, where they are on the priority list. Because it seems to be quite a bit of a priority now.
If your sorcerers can happen to understand a way... I understand that Assamites are not miracle workers. But if they could maybe reverse it...
If it can be.
If it can be.
Bring those who are combined back.
Our sorcery has gone back thousands of years compared to the Tremere and their wishy-washy magic. I'm sure they'll at least find something, if anything. Though I will say this, they'd have to try and find a Tremere to torture the information out of them, and I'm actually kind of obliged to send them a toy.
Sounds like the fun.
Tremere. I mean, why are we out here for? But fun.
Double it and pass it on to the next.
Always. The next generation will have so much more fun than we will. We won't know where to start.
And I'm going to make many Nosferatu to recoup our number. And Snatcher's gonna turn and start getting back into the carts. He's sick of this.
Olga literally puts her hand through Gwen's arm and says, "Look at him. He is growing up."
He is, and I'm glad to see that he is. It's been a wee bit of a time for him.
Indeed.
You know, seeing this, and I think this might move him into a little bit more of a grander scheme in the future.
Absolutely. It is so lovely to see the young grow up.
I mean, it is. I'm glad to see that this may or may not motivate him. But let's see where he goes out for. And maybe if he does crave more shelter, we'll just have to call him Papa Snatcher now. Just call me Auntie. It's fine. But he'll have the wee ones running around us. We won't know what to do with them at all. Can you imagine him with a wee one on his knee bouncing up and down? Don't worry, little baby Nosferatu. You grow up and fit your teeth in just nicely.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is interesting to see the young man starting to grow.
He's blossoming like you know what? He's blossoming like a true rose.
Don't ever tell him that. Don't ever tell him that.
You are so fucking lucky I don't have Auspex.
I know what I do.
I mean, they're right outside the wagon, so you might have heard that from in the wagon.
Nah,
If nothing else, you definitely hear Olga laughing. So.
That's a common occurrence. I don't need to worry about that. But no, Snatcher's too stuck in his own head and fuming and, you know.
When Olga laughs, a village catches fire.
I know, right? It's War Crime Wednesday. But yeah.
Wrong. All I wanted to do was kill him.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get back to what we were doing. It's rest evening so that our gods can continue the next day. So,
well, at least the gods have been taken care of and they're doing well.
Yeah. They were a little bitchy about having to travel overnight and overday. But
depending on whatever this place we're going to, if they have something a little bit nice for the guards, maybe we could treat them a little bit for a moment.
That's fine. But they should know if they sign on to this, they will have to sometimes do uncomfortable things.
If we split them into thirds and ghoul all of them for the trip, eventually they'll stop complaining about sore muscles.
Well, I like where you're going, Snatcher. Perhaps you are a little bit reactionary right now.
He says as his head's like sticking out of the flap in the wagon. I can see your point.
Let's take a moment and refocus, okay?
Don't worry, Snatcher. You'll be fine.
It would be unreasonable to waste so much blood on so many.
Exactly.
Even if it would be satisfying.
Not to mention if they turn around and become bad guards, that's just more for Olga to eat.
I mean, I will never go hungry.
This is true.
You already don't.
I know.
I still remember the first round of interviews between your new guards. It was horrific.
As it should be.
The bodies after that.
If you
but the ones I have now are good. I've bothered to not even name them at this point, because why?
Oh, so that's why they are talking in numbers.
Yeah.
You're 1, you're 2, you're 3. I had to correct one of them because it was like they went 5 then 4. And I went, no, it was 4 then 5.
I can only say as the player, ouch, right in my humanity. Fuck.
So as you all are settling down for the night,
Yes.
Knowing the next day you're going to
Sleep and travel and arrive.
arrive at the town.
Mhm.
I think right here, everybody, we're going to go to break. We will be back in 10 minutes. Please enjoy the break, everyone. A lot of weird shit's happening this episode. See you in 10. And welcome back. Before the break, they set out on a little side trip to help out Vladislav, who has an issue with a Hungarian Ventru. And in the process, during their trip, they got to meet them a nice everyday gargoyle named Augustus. Though, I will be fair, he's not as lovable as Dave was.
No one can match Dave, let's be real.
But it's a different
Dave was
era.
the best.
Gargoyles didn't really have much of their own personalities
They're not
yet.
free yet.
Yeah.
No, we essentially met a really efficient, very scary stone robot.
Yep.
Yep. But you did get some good information. Now you have a name to go with, well, who to blame for this, for the gargoyles.
Verstania.
Mm-hmm. And, well, you've met Augustus at least.
Mm.
But as we left off, you were resting through the daylight as your guards moved forward this day. And as you wake with the setting of the sun, you're on the outskirts of the town. You could have pushed forward, but the guards would rather you wake and ride into the town while it's nighttime, while you're not slumbering, given the situation you could be riding into.
Right.
So.
All right. I suppose we do this.
Now, this is not a large town. It's bigger than Vladislav's place. This one actually has an inn and a tavern and some shops.
Yes, but the inn is called the Plow Horse. It's a
that's because it's a farm. There's a lot of farming around it. Yes.
Yes.
It just happens to be on a road that gets enough traffic.
Yes, to actually have some commerce.
Is the inn constructed out of wood?
The inn is, the first level is all stone. It's the second floor and the roof that is done in the wood and in thatch standard. So it's obvious a lot of the town or houses in this town are still made of wood. There are a few that are made out of stone, which obviously is those that had a little extra means or ability to hire stone workers to come in and do it.
And is the inn like surrounded by a bunch of other buildings, or is it somewhat like it has like road space and stuff?
The inn is right towards the center of town, right on the main road. There are no set buildings by the inn. There is a stable, of course, for storing horses and wagons, but there are a number of stand-up shops, essentially stalls that are set up around it, though with it being nighttime and the weather that we've been having, nobody is sitting there at night. Though it's clear that the inn is well used. You can hear from even outside of it as you're riding on your horses into town. You can hear the noise coming from the inn.
One last quick environmental question. What's the weather like as we get there?
Cold. The snow is stopped. There's a good foot of snow on the ground. Though in the town itself, there's been enough walking through the town that there's tracks everywhere. People moving them out of the way, though it's cold enough the snow hasn't melted at all. But you're kindred. What is a little cold?
Well,
out of character question. What was this venture's name again?
You heard it's Bartos.
Bartos. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we go in and request Bartos so we can deliver the tribute.
It's a nice traditional Hungarian name.
He'll probably correct you to Lord Bartos, King Bartos.
Ubos Bartos, it's fine.
And we are queens and kings. He is not above us.
And as you
I've
step into
swallowed
the
a
inn,
hive of bees, Bartos.
it is busy. Good 36 people in here. It looks like due to the weather, a lot of people have come into the inn is warm. There's a nice fire going with the weather outside, so it's nice and toasty. It's not got leaks anywhere. Somebody spends a lot of effort maintaining and keeping this place a nice place to stay. So even though it's an inn, it's not a full tavern. It is full of people sitting at tables. And you don't even, the bartender, the guy that seems to be sitting behind the bar, the innkeeper, tavern keeper, doesn't even bat an eye as you come in. The crowd, I mean, you get a few murmurs, but most of the crowd seems to be ignoring you. Give me perception alertness. This is not supernatural in origin, of course.
Do I have eyes in the back of my head for this?
I know you're looking for somebody who would stand out in the crowd anytime you walk into anywhere like this.
And I'm cunning?
Sure. Three.
Man, I still have that phantom headset mic that I keep messing with.
5.
I also got 5.
Looking around the place, it's clear most of the people here are farm workers, farmers, or tradesmen, because the even in a town this small, it's big enough to have some guildsmen in it because the guilds have really taken over the society in this era. But over towards the corner, there is a group of people that appear to be dressed better than everybody else, including one man who is wearing, it's muted, but it's definitely of a fine cut of garb that is obvious. Nobles, or at least whatever they're wearing, took a lot of money to buy.
She and Olga just
They're all setting
was under wasteful.
They all have, drink. Number of them are drinking, sipping from ale. Though the guy who appears to be the best dressed of all of them, he's not drinking. He's got short black hair, piercing eyes. His eyebrows a bit bushy. You'd put him early 30s. His eyes, though, are watching you. And scattered around the table, there's 2 women sitting there. You're pretty sure they're hangers-on of some kind. And 4 other men at his table.
Olga's going to approach said table.
Right behind her.
Yep.
And then she looks and says, I see you are holding court.
Court is a interesting choice of words for in a town like this.
Exactly.
Might I have your name?
I have a few. Elena, Olga, Queen.
And the rest of your friend's name?
Peregrine, Snatcher. We are here on behalf of Vladislav to offer you his tribute. We were in the area and decided to stop by.
I am Magnet Bartos of Hungary.
Hmm.
You have brought me tribute.
You are a bit away from Hungary, are you not?
This is still part of the Hungarian Empire, is it not?
Yes. Bit far from the central, though.
Yes, but still required under Hungarian rule to provide tribute.
All right. Well, come see your tribute. And she turns.
Oh, on heel.
And he stands, and one of the women and one of the men get up with him.
Nah. As long as he behaves, he's perfectly safe. And then she keeps walking out.
My attendants come with me.
Of course.
Storyteller.
Yes.
For the 2 women specifically, Snatcher's double checking. He knows that, with a quick lick, he can heal any bite marks or puncture wounds, but he's trying to get a sense on if these 2 are fed off of, and if so, if that feeding restriction I have would start pointing out.
Do they seem a little woozy?
Yeah.
Perception.
Are they? I will not lie to you. I don't think I have much in the way of medicine.
No, you could go medicine, hearth, wisdom. I would even let you use survival in this case.
I'll take survival
because you
that's
do
a
street
much better
survival
roll.
quite a bit. Survival for you also applies to the street because that's where you learn to survive.
Or I can accidentally minimize my entire Zoom window. Sorry.
You can do that too if you wish. I won't make you roll for that. You can minimize your Zoom window without a roll. You can take half and do that.
Oh, wow. I feel so privileged. I'm sorry. What was the difficulty on that again?
I'm going 6 tonight. This is the night of 6s.
The night of 6. Okay.
Yes.
That'd be 3 successes.
3
God
successes. Looking over the 2 women, one of them, you could tell by her look and her mannerisms, neither of them appear to be confused, disoriented. Their walk is steady. But one of them carries herself in a way, to be fair, with a self-confidence that is not normal for ladies of this era.
I'll keep my eye on her as we walk.
She also has black hair, long black tresses.
Are they dressed to be like sort of like, this is gross to say, but like in an objectified sort of way where it's like they're dressed to look like something you'd want to look at, or are they dressed like for the weather and it just looks nice?
It is form-fitting to make it obvious that they are women in the form, and they're in this era you'd consider them well-fed because most women don't, unless they have an abundance of food, or unfortunately
Rather thin.
They are all well-fed, but they are also dressed in traveling clothes.
Okay.
Very fine traveling clothes. You could probably buy 2 horses for what one of them is wearing.
All right, just making sure that they're not, like dressed in silks or some
But
bullshit.
only one
that
of the
isn't
women go with
appropriate.
you. The others, of course, everyone stands when he stands. But only one of the women and one of the men go with you. The rest, after he walks away and he kind of waves to him, they sit back down.
Did they do it just as protocol, or did everyone seem scared and that's why they did it?
You would guess protocol. When the
Okay.
noble stands, everybody stands.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on that woman, but otherwise not say anything.
Okay. Then you all head back outside into the cold. The snow has stopped, but it is still extremely cold. And as you step out into the cold, the man shivers.
The woman does not.
No.
Interesting. Is she breathing?
It is cold enough you would be able to see breath.
Yeah.
And she does not show any breath.
She is also kindred.
Oh, never mind. Snatcher's immediately uninterested.
When it's this cold out,
You can see breath.
it is very hard to hide as a kindred.
Yes.
Snatcher thinking he was going to rescue a prostitute, not this shit.
Nope,
Meh.
she's kindred.
Oh, well.
And you take him over to the wagon,
Yes.
and he, as you get up to it, he looks up and down the wagon, and he looks at the man next to him and just nods. The man jumps up on the wagon and cracks open one of the barrels. And he looks through it. You see him sifting through it, and he jumps back down and comes over and whispers in Bartos' ear. And Bartos doesn't respond at first. And then the guy whispers a little louder so that you could hear it. And then suddenly Bartos nods. What is the meaning of this?
If you are ruling a farming village from an inn, you should know what to do with this tribute.
I do not rule this village. I am passing here. This was safe territory, neutral ground, to have tribute delivered back.
If you wish to have farming villages that are so small that they do not even have names give you tribute, you should know what to do with this material.
I expect food.
Yes, well, there's no food to spare.
Wait a minute. You expected food. Well, those are the materials to
make
create food. Are you that daft?
That is not tribute.
Oh,
This
that's
does not
not
satisfy the need for tribute, the demand of tribute. This just speaks of retaliation.
oh no, there's no retaliation.
Well,
You know who I am, yes? Your Hungarian Ventru have said?
No, I've never heard of you.
Oh, interesting.
Should I have?
Yes, you should have.
Aye.
The last one who got uppity of your clan in my city no longer exists.
But you are not in your city.
No, I'm not. But, and she looks at the woman, his companion, and say, you are still outclassed.
Give me perception. Oh, you suck at this one. Perception, empathy.
Asking someone on the road of kings for empathy.
Yeah, no, that ain't gonna happen.
She gets 2
that's
dice.
fucking
She's
funny.
rolling 2 dice.
I have no empathy.
Any successes
you-
on 2 dice.
You don't need empathy. You have no bless oblige.
Exactly.
I mean, it's possible she can figure something out.
I actually got a 9 and an 8.
Hot damn.
She is not looking at you at all. She's been staring at Bartos the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, eyes not leaving him, almost concentrating on Bartos.
So I recommend, if you have intelligence, that you accept this gift of basically black gold and the materials to make it thrive. Or you decide you're going to have your ego insulted and get spanked for it.
You know who I am. You know where I come from.
Indeed.
You
And
dare threaten the Hungarian Empire?
You dare threaten a queen.
I
did not
might
threaten
want
you.
to.
And no,
You did.
you did.
Vladislav is the one who must pay.
And he is under my protection at this point.
May I
am sorry for who
introduce to
you chose
you-
to be your liege or your liegeman.
May I introduce to you Olga of Kiev?
Name means nothing to me.
And you are uneducated.
And it's ironic, your name means nothing to us.
Exactly.
Wits, everybody give me. I'm trying to find one that fits this.
Firearms. Wait a second.
Yeah, no, not on that one.
Expression?
Melee, no
Expression?
problem.
Sure, I'll give you wits expression if you want.
All right, so I can't
Maybe.
remember. What do we do when we don't have
Or you
any
can go-
dice in a skill?
You can go wits etiquette, wits politics.
I have a dot in etiquette. Why not?
You can go politics if you want.
It's the same rule either way. I'll stick with etiquette in this case.
I've got politics.
I got 4.
That's pretty good.
I also got 4.
Pretty good.
3.
Given what you did to a Hungarian Ventru, there is no way in hell there's a Hungarian Ventru who hasn't heard of you. There is no way in hell. You
We did
mailed him
take-
back his body part.
And then Diablerized him and it turned to ash.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we
it's
sent his
kinda-
hands and feet.
Yeah. There's no way that anyone from Hungary wouldn't know that.
And you are a poor liar.
You dare. I should have my guards come and whip you for that.
Oh,
Do send them. Do
please.
send them. I could use a
I've been
snack.
I've been dying to try and use my blades. Why not? You have no idea to whom we are. And you're here in ignorance? Well, I mean, you just simply have to die because you're not worthy of being a kindred.
You wouldn't dare put a hand on me.
Oh, don't dare me.
Oh, is that what you think? And I'd like to vanish from mind's eye in front of all these fuckers.
Okay. I don't think there's a role for that. There is a role for that, isn't there?
There is, give me 1
I'll
second.
pull it up. Obfuscate powers.
Luckily, it's all very handily organized for us.
Yeah, because I put it all into my Foundry game, which is very nice, isn't it? Intelligence,
Oh, yes.
stealth.
Intelligence, stealth. Well, my stealth makes up for it.
Against wits, alertness, huh?
And you know what's funny? Does my stealth specialty of crowds come into play?
Sure.
Excellent.
Plus versus wits, alertness, huh? And the difficulty will be 6 across the board.
Oh my god. Wow, that's a lot of successes. Holy crap. I didn't think that would happen. I'm really excited.
We could tell when your reaction happened. It was great.
All right, that's 5 successes.
5
Nice.
successes. Very nice, actually. Very nice. When you disappear, the man loses you, of course. The woman is startled. Now, here's the odd thing. When she gets startled, for a second there, Bartos becomes completely slack. He just kind of stops moving, stops doing the normal
Oh,
twitches and
I
stuff.
know what they're doing. I know what they're doing. Okay. I am going to make it a little dark. She isn't going to see shit. I'm going to initiate Nocturne.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is why Nosferatu and La Sombra should be friends.
Yes, indeed. She ain't gonna see shit.
It's real easy to hide when no one can see anything.
So you're going to bring a cloud of supernatural darkness.
Yeah.
And it'll strangle any humans that are around. Oops. Oh, well, not your humans.
They're not with you right now, so
No.
yeah.
Yeah, ours are back with the horse and carts.
Yeah. Because this card is separate. It was left.
Yep. So good.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually have a decent pool for this. I roll manipulation occult.
Actually, so you're aware, everyone, even immortals, by the way, lose 2 dice from their stamina pool while they're inside this cloud as it tries to sap the life. Mortals,
That's fine.
unfortunately, they will suffocate, but kindred even feel the life sucked from them.
It feels gross, but all of our opponents are Cainite too,
That is
so it doesn't
5
matter.
successes on that. So with Nocturne, success results in a cloud of impenetrable blackness 10 feet or 3 meters in diameter anywhere within 50 meters of the character. Each additional success may add 10 feet.
If you wish.
If I wish. I will literally have it extend just to the door of the inn.
Okay, now you are actively maintaining it.
Yep.
So you have to keep
Focus.
concentration.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
While they're all doing that, once it goes dark, I'll have Scorpion's Touch coated on my blades. And I have Auspex up. So Heightened Senses is up.
When the
God,
darkness blasts everywhere. Looking here. That's still, even with heightened senses, you have a 2-die penalty, so you know, to your perception.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
I'm just doing Heightened Save so I can hear. I know
But
I
as
can't
this
see
darkness fills, now, Snatcher, you're blind as shit. Nothing for you.
That's fine. I had my eyes on the woman. That's all I needed. I'll figure it out.
As soon as it goes pitch black, Olga, the man disappears. Or not the man, Bartos completely disappears. Gone. And the woman, now this, it muffles sound, but she screams and says, "I yield." As the man starts suffocating.
You yield.
Yes. You got me. I'm not Bartos. Please don't kill my servant. Let's talk.
Understand I can do this so quickly that your man will not survive. And she basically snaps her fingers and the shadows drop.
And she
You
looks
guys
you,
see-
and yes, and I could trap you in a nightmare that you couldn't escape, but let's talk.
You see Snatcher like near her, but not at her, with a stake up in his hands. Just
So you come here pretending to be a Ventru. For what purpose?
My name's Mahala. I am of the Romani. My people were starving. They needed food.
Can your people farm?
We're traveling people. We don't have land. We can't hold land. They won't let us. They take it from us every time we do, or they enslave us when we try to have land. This is my way to get food to maybe make it through this weather for us. So now, I've got to find another way to feed my people.
Maybe if you come and just talk in Barsha with us, that could have been simpler.
I didn't even know you existed.
Of course you didn't.
But I knew about Vladislav. My people passed through his lands not a month ago. Ran us right out. Like most do in this area.
But we're different. Maybe you should talk to us.
She didn't know us.
I don't even know who you are.
We rule Belgrade.
Oh, my people don't like to go near the cities. That is especially bad for us. Last time we went to a city, they stoned 3 of my people.
We control Belgrade. There will be no stoning.
Excuse me if I am hesitant to trust you on that. I only know how us Romani are treated everywhere we go in this land.
More than understandable.
There is work. There is food. We are working on getting more food from outside of this land because we have prospered in areas of commerce and trade in Belgrade. If your people can work, there will be food.
And what assurances do I have? Excuse me, I can't take you on your word. You were here to give me this for Vladislav.
Because it's what his people could give. His people are starving too. Everywhere, people are starving.
So are my people.
And we are trying to solve it.
One grueling step at a time.
But in the meantime, in Belgrade, we are working on getting grain from other places. We are working on solving the immediate problems to ensure our city and our people just outside it thrive. And if your people are that desperate, you will take the opportunity and earn it.
You might not want to take us as our word, but take it at what we've done for the past, 50, 60 years, and have grown this city from where we found it. We took everyone in, regardless of what they are.
It was barely a fucking river village.
I know, right? And we have built onto it. We've accepted all that help and those that wish to grow within it. I hold the whole trade center, teaching people how to read and write, teaching trade.
Perhaps we could send them with a missive?
We've
Peregrine?
heard good words before.
I understand.
And then we set up, and within a year, we're slaves to the land, called property, by
Would
the
you
Nez who
believe-
control it.
Would you take the word of an Irish woman who has been a slave?
I've never even
For
heard
5.
of Ireland.
Well,
And she grins when she says it because how did she know it's called Ireland if she hasn't
Right.
heard of it?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
she's like, I have been a slave all my life. I know exactly what you're going through. To be begotten, forgotten, and turned into something that you wish you had never been. But at the same time, in the bonds of those that have travelled near and far, being that you are actually able to say my country, my home country, rather clearly, I know you're well travelled, and I've heard many stories of my people.
Do they call you baby stealers, thieves,
Drunks,
drunks,
washing of the land,
witches?
devil spawned. Oh, I've been called a witch for more times than you know. I still believe in the old ways.
I dared to rule as a woman. I was called a witch.
I just want to take care of my blood, my tribe, my people.
I understand. How about this? You go to Belgrave. We'll give you a missive. I'm not saying you're going to be a slave to the city, but at least grow roots there for some people to be there. I'm not saying your
And
entire
if you
tribe.
wish to, and if you need to travel, you travel.
Aye.
But if you do good work there, you will be rewarded.
We travel because we have to.
Then you will not have to.
We will take care of you if you need it. But you got to learn to give some trust to gain some trust.
But
It's hard.
I understand. I do. I understand. I, in my time, have brought disparate tribes together to form a nation. And I am doing it all over again in Belgrade. And I'm doing it with the companions and even others that could not be with us this night. And I'm telling you, we are doing something different than all these Nez are doing.
Aye.
And even the Nez approve because they can see that we are holding it steadily.
Right.
Aye.
So truly, I have someone there that is ruling in my stead. I handle the ruling class. I make sure they don't get too damn driven to abuse their people. I will send a sealed document to her to ensure your people are rewarded for work with food.
And I can swear to you that none will accuse you of stealing there, because any thief that is caught will not be one of you.
And I can give you word that you'll have work, education, as well as being accepted within my circles.
And if you have good fighters, my brother is in charge of the guard. They are always looking for recruits.
We also have a rather diverse conglomeration of faith for whatever may be practiced amongst you and yours.
Yes.
It does seem miraculous. I can understand your hesitance and your desire to protect your people.
I have to ask you, what gave it away?
A Hungarian Ventru had no idea that I had sent another Hungarian Ventru's hands and feet to them because he dared trespass in our city without greeting us first. And then I ended that Ventru's existence, and his remains that was sent to them turned to ash.
We also once locked a Zamisi in a cellar.
We did.
I wouldn't have known.
No, you wouldn't have known that.
You know, this has worked on 3 other people so far.
Of course.
I've gotten tribute from 3 others in times of need.
Oh, these talents would be so useful
They
to me.
would be incredibly useful to us. Your
May
talents will be appreciated.
They call me thief. They call us monsters.
No, you do it because you need to.
I turned into one because of them.
Yes, I know.
Gwen extends her hand to her and says, "How about if I called you friend?"
She looks at your hand a minute.
Straight out.
That's a little. She's obviously suspicious.
How about ally then, and then work to friend?
We'll work with that. And she reaches her hand out.
Allow
Firm
me to
shake?
write you the letter. You and your people can go to Belgrade.
Did we get a name from her, by the way?
Yeah, Mahala,
Mahala.
Mahala, thank you. I
which
couldn't
is
recall.
a Romani name, actually.
I will write a letter of introduction for you and your people. And Shelazina will take care of you. And so I do. I go about writing a sealed letter to Sherazina that she can deliver personally to Sherazina.
Snatcher keeps trying not to stare at her. Failing, but he's like trying not to.
And I'll take a risk.
As we all do.
We all take risks, and sometimes the reward is more than we anticipate.
Aye.
Sometimes the risks fail, and it is sad, but sometimes we succeed.
I understand. I wasn't joking when I say I can trap you in a nightmare.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. I can also completely subjugate you if I wish.
You can try.
I could try.
If it matters, you craft an excellent fake venture.
You do. He was arrogant as fuck. I'll give you that.
Everyone I met was.
Yes.
I got the idea because I met a Bartos from Hungary on the road.
You shoved the appropriate length of the halberd straight up its ass. So well done.
She smiles at that, gets a glint of a mischievous eye. Now that's an image I could conjure one night.
It would be grand entertainment.
If a little much.
But here, take this letter. Request audience with Shelazina.
Do you have farmers in this city, at least? No. We can give this to them. They can actually start farming.
We don't have any farmers. We've not had any land. We scavenge.
I'm at the town, not
We
you.
hunt. Oh, this town? I don't know. I've just been here a few days.
Okay. Then we will basically talk to some of the people in the town and see if they wish to utilize some of the fertilizer and earth to help foster their plants.
I'm glad you
Aye.
came when you did. In another day or so, I think the innkeeper would realize we've been paying with money that isn't real.
My dear, we desperately need to speak on business.
I agree on this one.
Snatcher's not even hiding it. It is the biggest you have ever seen him smile. His lizard sharp teeth, the scales around his lips pull back.
Oh.
It is. He's almost drooling, and he can't do that.
You're making him smile. That's an improvement.
How can I say this as polite as possible? You are absolutely terrifying when you smile.
Oh,
As
thank
it
you.
should be.
Yeah.
And that, I believe, is the first time anyone has ever referred to me as terrifying.
You're a scaly-looking monster when you're smiling.
Promise you, on the inside, it's all soft.
Aye.
Soft and gooey.
Aye. Kind of like a good goulash.
But truly, Mahala, you can only take us at our word. There is no way in the middle of a farming village we can prove to you what we have done. But take this letter to Belgrade and you can see with your own eyes.
I will take
Agreed.
a chance. If only because I know if I am betrayed,
You know our faces now.
I know your
Aye.
city.
And
You know what
our
kind of
city.
chaos I can cause in a city?
Indeed.
Aye.
It won't come to that.
It will not come to that because I am a woman of truth in this matter.
While you approach us from a place of hesitance, we strongly approach you from a place of certainty. You will like what you see in our town.
We will try.
Take a look. Look around. See what you can find some roots to grab onto.
You will see
And
our
see-
widows and orphans are cared for. You will
Aye.
see our people, even if it is hard, they thrive.
We have a good sense of community, and they will welcome you in. No problem.
Very well.
To live in Transylvania is to be resistant.
Indeed.
And a survivor.
But no one is an island unto themselves here. It requires community.
And we can provide that.
Do you have a large amount of people under your care?
Counting the women and children, about 80.
It's far less than I was expecting.
It can be
It's been a hard
accommodated.
time.
It can be accommodated. And perhaps
And we-
even your people could thrive.
And we have education for the kids. It's
Absolutely.
not a problem. We have training centres. I run all of that, as well as the pagan centre.
And even
It'll
the
be
women.
fine. Aye. Women are not second-class citizens. They are first-class citizens right with the men, learning how to read and write and do everything else.
Yes.
And most of our citizens are already educated.
Yes.
We find it's easier for humanity as a whole if they all know.
The church is not
Communication.
most fond of us, but you know, it's fine.
Communication rules all, and it's open communication that we enjoy and thrive in.
Very well. Come, Alfonso. And we'll go and gather our people.
Very
Wish you
well.
a pleasant journey.
Be safe on the roads.
Aye.
She looks back at you. The hangers-on in the inn are going to be quite interested when we never return. They weren't part of my group. They were hoping to curry favor. It was quite amusing to watch them scurry about.
Oh, trying to get with the Lord.
And they all looked right past me every time.
Yep.
Ingenious.
And she smiles and turns and actually doesn't go back towards the end. She cuts down one of the buildings to the side, apparently heading off into the woods. because she wouldn't have her people camped close to the town because, well, they'd be run off. And it would give away the trick.
Gwyn, could you possibly go into the tavern to see if any farmers would like some fertilizer and earth?
On it. Huh.
Okay.
And if
No problem.
not, then offer the innkeeper some money to pay to help the
I'll handle
community.
Okay.
Bye.
Snatcher's gonna look after her and just mutter, "What a gorgeous woman," and turn and turn and start helping Peregrine. Probably not talking to people, but he's got potence. He can like load off the various crates and barrels or whatever
is
as
this?
needed.
Snatcher, who said he'd never be interested in something like that, now suddenly, wait a minute.
Hey,
Because she's interesting.
yeah, she's interesting. She's a rarity. This is the first Ravnos he's ever met.
Yes.
You don't get Ravnos in London.
You're now entering the era where they were slowly starting to
Migrate.
migrate into Transylvania.
Mm-hmm.
And Snatcher's trying not to drool.
And so you go about and, I mean, you can, the innkeeper offers to take the fertilizer. I'm sure he can trade it to somebody or find a use for it. And the
She
soil.
will see if there's any other. She'll find any of the tradesmen. She said there were guild people in there, seeing if there's anyone that can use that or can farm.
There's woodworkers, a couple of blacksmiths.
Yeah, she'll tell them about the fertilizer and everything.
I mean, they'll
And then
find a
she'll-
use for it. So, and I
She
think you
will
all
ask
need to head back to see Vladislav, though.
Yeah.
She will make sure that the tap that Merlina had
Mahala. Yeah.
Mahala, thank you, had started. She'll cover all of that.
The innkeeper kind of looks at you weirdly because he thinks he's already been paid.
Check your till. Promise you're missing a bit.
He's real suspicious of that, but he won't. He insists that he's got money, but he'll take free money to him.
Mm-hmm.
She'll kind of wage how long
Look,
they've been
accounting
here.
is not a big thing in this era, okay?
You're saying that to an AR specialist. Oh God. Please don't say that to a bookkeeper. Sweet God. She will kind of calculate what it is and give him
Okay.
about the adequate.
And so an empty wagon you get to bring back.
Can we have a quick conversation,
Of course,
storyteller,
you can
on
have it
this
on the
ride
way back
back?
because you've got time.
Because it feels like this is a great bit of planning opportunity now that we're not rushing over to this location.
Yeah, now you're slowly heading back to Vladislav. You can have all the scene you want right now.
It's been a good evening.
You
So-
seem to be fancied on her.
I like what she can do and I want to learn more.
Oh, is that all? That's all you want to do? Huh?
Oh, no. I heard the beautiful woman.
Oh, I did as well.
And it's now that I'm very glad that all the scales on my face are dark black. Because otherwise,
You'd
I'd be
be
blushing.
Oh, I could see them going a little bit blacker than normal.
No, you can't. Don't lie.
I'd never lie to you.
So for Vladislav, what are we thinking? He pledges his allegiance to us?
I think if we can add his little town, we can start growing a little bit of a patch, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
And if I can get the good seeds and some food to that town, maybe we can turn
can
around and make it
expand
grow.
our influence a bit.
Exactly. Put a bit more in our another feather in our cap to the local noses.
Exactly. Of course,
think
his
this is a good
sire
idea.
would probably be a bit offended, but you know what? If his sire wants to tag along and can report to us as well.
Aye.
We welcome all who are willing to assist.
Agreed.
And I think we tell him that Bartos will never bother him again.
Aye.
No. We don't need to go into details. Bartos might be dead.
Or Bartos might be so busy in Hungary proper that he would never make himself available down here.
He disappeared in the night and realized that he didn't deserve the offer we gave him.
He was such a pathetic venture that he didn't even know what we had done to one of his kin.
Yes. But we don't need to give details. He just needs to know that Bartos will never bother him again.
Aye.
And he can assume what he will from that.
Yeah, we don't need to give away this woman at all.
Nope.
I think she'd be a good good adding on to our city.
Oh, she certainly will be. I'll make sure of that.
Okay,
Oh,
Snatcher, don't make me cuff you.
You will have to do no such thing.
Do we have to dunk
Treat
you
her
in some
with
cold water?
respect.
Of course. But do you know how much more you can smuggle when it's not real?
I know.
Of course. Snatcher, really? You're telling the two of us? How long have we been alive?
No,
Wasn't here we won.
But picture it. Rats covered in treasure, and you can see none of it because it's hidden under the fact that it just looks like a larger rat. That's only one idea.
Snatcher, I need you to sit and focus.
And in all honesty, you don't need to do any rolls. You know how Zelios gets excited about building?
Yes.
Snatcher
gets excited about
crime.
thievery and stuff.
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
It's like he's actively trying to hold. You can see like his
He's like
teeth
vibrating.
almost. He's so excited, and he can't express why.
Look, I think he's now complete.
You have given us the best gift ever. Storyteller.
One just looks to Olga and go, well, now we know how to zone him out really quick.
Yes, we do.
Sorry, what?
Exactly. And I swear to God, between Zelios and him, now I can see the connection.
I totally see the family resemblance now.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean? The family resemblance is obvious from the beginning.
No. It's the level of hyper-focus you get on your interests. It is astonishing to observe.
Mm-hmm. You know how Zelios goes all about the sacred geometry and blah, blah, blah? We start talking about thievery and you're like,
you just
Grand Climb Mod.
Yes. It is very entertaining.
In some ways, it's almost an art.
Exactly.
Oh, I know it's an art, but to watch you web out like Zelios and just go, crime. It's like, okay, let me just sit here with a beverage and some chips and just watch you go for it.
I mean, I'll understand that you will take notes, which will be good for me to refer later.
Me take notes? I feel like I'm being called out on the carpet, Olga.
This side journey started out as an absolute emotional hell, and now I'm beyond excited for the future.
You are honestly giddy.
As a schoolgirl.
Mm-hmm.
She could post gargoyles up in the underground tunnels.
Sweet Mary, Mother of God, and all the saints preserve us. You're making me swear in Irish now.
Well...
Oh, if soon as they give him a parchment and a pen, he's going to be starting to draw things out now. Well, I could make a scribe still.
It will be 2 days of travel to get back to Vladislav.
Travel well spent. I have to make sure to hide how happy I am once we see him.
Yes.
Oh, you might as well get it out now and start jumping up and down on the car in the wagon. Why not? Get all that
I mean, the road
out.
is already bouncy enough.
Ah, aye. Why do I feel like at some point he's going to have some kind of unique hat, a long kind of coat that drags back with some kind of cane and just walking around kind of like he owns it all as some kind of crime kingpin or something, if that was ever a thing.
Sounds kind of posh.
I think you go a wee bit posh.
Oh, just wait. Give you time.
Aye.
You'll have so much money.
You won't know what to do with it.
Yes, but why dress your money? That's a great way to have it lost.
It is. It is.
Oh, but it also shows your power and your prestige. Kind of a middle finger to the roses going, yes, you can do it, so can I.
Yeah, that Nos can be stylish too.
Aye, exactly.
As if not everyone could be stylish if they have the resources to do it.
One of these days I will have to tell you about the Toreador I met who was not.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That was
And now you have my attention.
That was fascinating. And then he died. But that was early into my embrace in London. If you go against Mithras, you are a fool.
Oh, don't bring up Mithras. I've had enough of that. We had to go through Londinium a couple of times. And I saw my Domitor bow and scrape to Mithras as was needed. Unfortunately, couldn't keep his mouth shut and got beat up a couple of times.
Only beat up.
Yes, well, I was the one who had to drag his body out and put it somewhere and then pull the stake out. I think it was 3.
Augustine's going to be so upset that he missed this.
Oh, I know, right?
Oh, but it'll be fun for you to lord it over him a little bit.
I have no earthly idea what you're talking about.
You're a horrible liar, Snatcher.
And that is by design. If I'm interacting with someone, things have already turned sour.
Not really. It just depends on how you're going to handle things. I think I see great things in the future for you, especially when you hook up with this lady and learn all of her ways. Though, I think you two would actually be quite promising with each other, too.
We have a couple centuries. And unfortunately, as good as my mood is, it is still leveled out to neutrality due to what we must escort. But this at least gives us something to look forward to once this hell is done.
Exactly.
Oh, the daydreams are going to be immensely interesting to see what you have to talk about.
We at least have something good to go home to.
Aye, that's true.
I'll admit, we do seem to all get a bit bored with the lack of opportunity.
I keep making it. You have to make it.
You have to make your own opportunities over time.
Aye.
You really do. That is the only way to thrive in our society, is to make your own opportunities. I did not wish to be subservient to my sire. Guess what I did? I took the advantage of the fact my son had died to go into voluntary torpor. Long enough for him to leave Constantinople, return back to Spain, and then when I was awoken, he was nowhere around.
Coming to must have been both blissful and disorienting.
Exceptionally so, on both counts. You have to make your own opportunities. I did not wish to be under his thumb.
If you need opportunities or ideas, you know Olga and I will be happy to help you.
Absolutely.
I want to see you grow, Snatcher. I've seen you when you were a human. I saw you thriving in the streets of Londinium. Come on. You got that crafty mind of yours, and I know for a fact, seeing that woman, you've got a lot of things that have been unlocked in your head, and you're starting to swim in all of those ideas and opportunities. Take them.
See what works out, see what doesn't, and learn.
Aye. And don't be lost to the opportunities of other things too.
The only opportunities you will ever regret are the ones that you didn't take.
Aye. And regret is probably the biggest thing that burns us. Trust me, and I'll go on this.
It's going to be an interesting time.
Oh, aye, of course.
Always
naturally.
is. Always is.
Do you want me to get some more parchment and such for you so you can start writing out your great ideas?
After this trip, then I'll have plenty of time. Maybe I can even bind a book or two.
As if I don't have all that already.
Oh, then you can just supply me with a journal.
Of course I can. But also I will put you this way. Write it in English. Most of the things in this world, they don't speak it.
Yes.
Best way to hide it. Or, if you want, I can teach you how to do a cipher.
In English, Snatcher will say, I'm not sure what that is, but that seems like a very useful thing to know.
A cipher is something that you use different languages for different things, and you write it, and you know how to translate. So I take English and Latin for you. Maybe a little Greek. Get a little funky in there.
Just think, one of these years we're all going to leave Transylvania for something.
Oh,
I really hope that isn't for a millennia or two.
It is my idea that likely I will foster Sherazina into a ruler of her own caliber. This first foray without me is a test to see how well she does in my absence. And if she does as well as I expect, eventually I will be ready to move on to do it over again.
Hey. Look, if I can find a couple of good ghouls for you, I'll bring them to Sherazina because, well, you know what I can't do.
Honestly, if she is going to be a ruler, she needs to find her own.
Yeah, but I got some good people that could help at least.
Then put them in her periphery and see if she chooses them.
Done.
I won't lie. Sherazina was a curiosity when we found her.
Aye.
But I think whoever she decides to sire will be far more interesting.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that woman
agreed.
makes interesting choices.
She does.
That's fair.
I liked her from the moment I met her. She was a survivor.
If you did not embrace her, I might have.
I would have actually suggested Olga do it.
She had the instincts to rule,
Aye.
but needed refinement. She had a bit too much of the Nez in her.
Aye.
There was a certain Zamisi edge to her
Exactly.
methods.
Exactly. And it wasn't adequate for the way I see the world going.
Aye.
Eventually, the way these Zamitsi rule this land will go out of fashion.
I just
I
hope
have-
what we're doing.
I have a knack for knowing which way the wind is blowing. It was in life. I went to Constantinople to negotiate agreements and realized that the way of my people would be changing. It would become Orthodox Christianity. I brought it home because that was going to be the only way to maintain trade. I was not the one who spread it among my people. That was my grandson, but I trained my grandson. I know the way things are going, and the way they rule here is going to go out of fashion. I hear the rumblings of the people. They are dissatisfied. I hear the rumblings of the young kindred, like Vladislav. They are unsatisfied.
Even ones at our level seem to be complaining somewhat.
Exactly.
Have
Things
we
are
laid
going to
enough-
change.
Have we laid enough a foundation to at least survive
Yes.
and maybe push through?
It is my hope that we will be less of a target because we are fostering of the young. We are
Then tell me
encouraging their
where-
growth.
Then tell me where we need to spread, because I have contacts. I can get other things. Where do we need to spread so that we can ensure at least some safety?
We will work on this. We have time. The travel will be long. We will work on this.
Reaching through more of Transylvania would never be a bad thing.
But we must be careful with that because the Nez are territorial.
Incredibly.
So already, if we take Vladislav as one of ours, his sire is going to be upset about it, unless he decides he wants to bend the knee as well. If his sire is unhappy about it, that makes us an enemy.
Is there any way for negotiations?
I'm not going to negotiate with someone who wants to get pissy about the fact that I can do more to protect his child than he can.
I thought I would ask at least.
I get it, but not everyone can be negotiated with, Gwen.
Then we just kill him.
And some of these dragons are stubborn fools.
I agree with this.
We'll just have to make sure there's at least an open cellar nearby. I'm starting to find that I will have an approved method for how to deal with each clan. Ventru, remove the hands and feet. Tzimisce, lock them somewhere dark and wet. And I'll just continue as we experience it.
I tell you, I know it is important to pay attention to the people. Pay attention to their needs.
No, I agree.
And it is important to pay attention to how communities that surround your people, how they are changing. Because that is how you can, as a city, as a kingdom, that is how you survive. That is how you stay viable. Unfortunately, it seems the lessons I taught my grandson and my son did not last the generations, as Kiev is split asunder at this point. Too many egos getting in the way, losing the intelligence. It is my hope eventually they will get their shit together. But I know how it is done. I was a woman that accomplished it after my husband was murdered, because my son was too young. It literally will be something that we must expand our influence a bit. It's what I did. I expanded my influence while I was regent, queen, to bring disparate tribes together under one banner.
To do it this way.
And I'm doing it again.
Okay.
Because you have to pay attention to the people and their needs.
Here's an idea. Should I send a missive down to them, to our city? Maybe spare one or two farmers to get them to come up here and help?
Not yet. Let's find out. Because honestly, sending off armies at this time doesn't help. The land is asunder because of the fucking demon. There's nothing we can do about that. We have to move supplies. But we need to get the supplies to move the supplies. You see what I'm saying?
I get you.
Because these people know how to farm. These towns would no longer exist if they didn't. They need supplies because the problem is their yields are low. Their farms are flooded, overwatered.
All right.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm just throwing up ideas for the moment. So
it is not a issue of skill. It is an issue of supply.
Well, I've sent out those missives, so we'll
that's what we have to work
know.
on, and you're doing good work with that because that is what we have to work on. We have to get the supply in. So,
as soon as we have good supply, we can turn around and branch it out.
Exactly. In return for services and tribute.
No.
And if Vladislav is even half the Tzimisce that he claims to be, perhaps he could lend aid to other towns if he is able. I'm not certain his means given where we see him ruling, but it is an idea.
Exactly. And ultimately, when you're dealing with a Tzimisce, you have to be considerate of ties to land that they may have. So they must rule where they feel at home.
That's fair.
But
just have to find his home.
But yes, there are lots of things that are involved when you are ruling. Many of you have never had the experience. But I am glad that I am not having to do it alone this time, because doing it alone was really rough.
No, I agree.
I had to be ruler. I had to be ambassador. I had to be military general. I had to be everything.
Well, you don't have to know.
You were everything but the spark that started it.
Exactly. I was the consequences of actions.
Well, maybe we can turn around and you can be the spark for this new age.
Perhaps.
I mean, hey, you know what? We can actually have in the history books the age of Olga.
Okay, I do not need my ego stroked, okay?
Yeah, she's
it is enough.
adventurous.
I'm already canonized.
I don't have to stroke your ego. I'm just trying to get you to laugh and enjoy it. Crying out loud. Stroking an ego is like,
I know my sire was behind this. I know my sire was behind this. And I can't figure out if it was meant to be flattering or meant to be insulting. I'm trying to figure it out.
Well, given how gullible your sire is, I suppose...
you know what? I've been learning a bit more of the Spanish that Augustine has been saying. I heard a phrase, por lo que nos dos. That translates to, why not both?
Both flattering and insulting. I got you.
Why not? I heard the guards talking a bit, and when the one said "por lo que nos dos," I turned around and asked him, "What the fuck are you saying?" And he translated, and I went, "Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense." So while we do war crimes, we get the spoils of things from a city.
What is a war crime?
Why not both?
I would assume any crime that you commit during war.
Aye. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, because war is just war.
War is messy, I will admit.
War's messy. Then there's these weird things that humans like to call what is it? When you do the right and wrong thing. Morals. That's it. Aye. Apparently there's morals that you go into war with. I had no idea. I started reading a
Yes,
book.
the moral is to win.
Not that. When you're going into war, you fight the soldiers. You don't go for the women and the children. You know what I mean?
What?
Right. There's a new way of thinking about it.
You take them all out so they can't reproduce and make more soldiers later that will come back to bite you.
You take the women and the children so that you could turn around and raise them in a completely different way, and then thus gently wiping them out, and you're getting more people in for labor. I know, it's not all about killing, Olga.
No, I'm sorry, I disagree. Because if you leave any, they get resentful and they foster. It's just not good.
Oh, but that's, you know what, listen here. They did it back in Roman days and Greek and ancient history. It worked for them then. It can work for us now.
Yeah, but see, that's them damn Greeks. They live on, the beaches and the islands and all that stuff. They don't know what it's like to live in these mountains.
And relaxing and having democracy.
And drinking their wines and eating their olives and just, getting fat.
Relaxing and having a lazy day life.
Oh, man.
Let me tell you the story of the life of Riley.
Well, it appears it is coming close to sunup.
Back to camp.
Back to camp.
Back to camp.
So is this group? Well, they've gained, I think, 2 allies with this little side trip. And as they head back to Vladislav's little pissant podunk town, I think right here is where we're going to end this episode, everybody. I am sure they've got a new liegeman. He made that quite clear. And the joy of when they get to tell Augustine what events transpired on this side trip.
He's not going to fucking believe us.
We're networking. We're networking.
What have I done by creating
I don't understand. It's fine.
the Snatcher crime lord through history here?
I love it.
You shouldn't have introduced a thief to chemistry, man. It's fucked up.
Well, at least y'all didn't kill her.
No.
No,
You
why?
could have.
We could have.
Could
And
have.
We were ready to,
I
but
love
then
subverting the expectations on what that scene was going to be about.
I wasn't even like buffing
No.
up to fight. I
No,
was just going
but
to.
you didn't.
Yeah.
You expected to be dealing with a Ventru, but you weren't.
I was going to stake him, but then
You
he
just
I was
stopped
buffing
being.
up to defend. That's true. I defended. I'm like, look,
It's
I'm gonna
great. We're
defend.
gonna
She's
have
the
a
target now.
Ravnos and her fucking people.
That's it's a
Y'all
scene that
Snatcher may suddenly start crafting illusions. It's going to be bullshit.
It's gonna be brilliant.
I wanted to subvert things tonight a little bit since we were taking a side trip without
Just a
Ravnos
little.
Archon. And I think throwing a Ravnos, showing you exactly what you can do, at least under 20th anniversary, where the Ravnos V5 sucks a bit with what they did to the powers. But in 20th anniversary, you can do some funny shit. So I'd like to thank my players. I'd like to tell Ravnos Archon, who's still here in chat, come on, man. Hopefully you're here next week. I mean, if not, we'll go on without you. We
If
understand.
not, it's okay. You,
But
you need to heal.
yeah, but yeah.
Hey, it's okay. We had Ravnos at home. We're fine for now.
Now you sent Ravnos at home. Their Archon just is waiting at the camp.
Yeah.
That's okay. He'll just say, he'll send us to Principal O'Shaughnessy's office. He'll be fine.
So thank you to the players. Everyone gains 3 XP tonight.
Including Ravnos Archon?
Yes, I will give him 3 tonight.
Yay.
See?
Just because missing one session and not getting XP, I feel is kind of
Well,
bullshit.
normally you get 1 even if you miss a session. But in this case, I'm going to be generous to Ravnos Archon because he missed out on a lot of good fun. His punishment for missing this episode was he missed out on this episode. I mean, that's, could you imagine what shenanigans he would have got up to in all this?
Oh, don't tempt him, please.
So I do thank everyone for coming. Please join us on the Discord. That is where we cast this show from. We cast all of our shows from. We had a mage casting call close recently. There may or may not be other casting calls in the near future. There will eventually be casting calls for other things because the next thing I have to run for the Shankies not running the main chronicles for my side stories, I have to run a Broken Tales game. That is next on my list of things I must run. So keep an eye out on that. Plus, we're due for a Zoom hangout. Probably need to do one either this weekend or next weekend because we haven't done one in
Ages.
ages. So if you're a member of our Discord, with the Zoom hangouts are open to all members of the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a chance to hang out with
And
not
you
only
don't have to be on camera for them.
Yep. It's a chance to hang out with the McStabbers and the community and just talk about anything you want to talk about because conversations go everywhere when we do those. It's not always about games. It's just a place to socialize and hang out. Please, if you want to see our back episodes, go to our YouTube. All the back episodes of this, Kansas City, Windy City, there's DC, there's Demon, there's Changeling with Storyteller down there in the corner there. There is Werewolf, Mage. We've got so much World of Darkness. And then Wraith, and then non-World of Darkness, Monster of the Month, which is a Monster of the Week serial game. That video will be posting tomorrow at noon. The one from this past week's episode.
Yep. This has been our second one that was on Monday, where we saw the second half of my players, the last 4 of the group of 8. And now, starting next month, I'm going to be mixing and matching them throughout sessions for the rest of the time as they work on hunts now that they are part of a team of Interpol agents.
Yep. And if you want to see some amazing content creators, like damn it, pointing the wrong way. There's one down there. There's one missing here. You don't see him. Apparently he got some obfuscate. But I did make a joke to Verlin.
No.
I did make a joke to Verlin about kidnapping Ravnos Archon before this episode, but because that's the long running joke is if somebody's out, Shanky kidnaps them.
To kidnapping.
Yeah.
Nah, he only does that in his modern chronicles.
I do that to
Modern
Red. Poor Red.
Poor Red.
Poor Red's gotten kidnapped a lot. Poor Red has gotten
mischievous
kidnapped a lot.
Red. Her characters get kidnapped a lot.
So often. She plays kidnappable people. I mean, who wouldn't want to kidnap Red? Come on.
Kidnap Queen Ravner.
Yeah.
God, send it to Twitch chat.
What the fuck is this goddamn chronic? Like, this whole server is insane. Why am I in this community? What's wrong with me?
Because
you fit.
It's the island of misfit toys and you fit in.
Yep.
Because you fit is the most threatening compliment ever. Goddamn.
That's what she said. Woo! Okay. If you want to get some studio merch, go to our merch store. We've got McStabber Studios merch. I don't think we have any for Dark Ages yet. Who knows? We might get some eventually. But there's, all kinds of stuff.
I think we need a War Crime Wednesday t-shirt.
War Crime Wednesdays.
We're adding it to the list.
With a picture of a village on fire.
I am not an artist.
It can just be a line drawing village with flames above it. I'll try to figure out how to do that now.
Okay.
I'm
It
writing
can't
down
be as
too.
bad as my kidnap band picture that I had, because that one was pretty rough too. Okay.
Or it's just a
village
picture.
on fire. Got you.
Or it's just a picture of an old cellar, and underneath it says consequences.
I thought that
my
was
God,
the shirt that said truth on the front, and the back said consequences with a grave.
War crime if you're with friends.
It's only a war crime if it comes from the war crime region of France. Otherwise, it's just sparkling murder.
What crap.
It's spicy murder.
So if you want to support the players, bits and donations, everybody that go to the players, not to the studio. If you want to give something to the studio, buy us a coffee, subscribe here on Twitch. If you watch on YouTube, you want to support the studio that don't cost you any money. Like the video on YouTube, hit the thumbs up, hit the notification icon, comment on the video. That costs you nothing. And it might gain us a whole 50 cents overall with more views. I mean, that's still
It just
supporting.
boosts us up in the search when people are searching for content like ours.
Which means we get to share the story with more people,
Which
and
means-
that's more important than the money.
Absolutely. Because none of this streaming is ever going to replace our income from our day job.
Yep. We do it because we love sharing stories. So, wow, I think I did everything. Now I can turn it over to my wife for the schedule.
Yes. All right. So thank you so much for joining us for episode 3 of Dark Ages Vampire. And yes, we did have to skip last week because we took our daughter to see Final Fantasy Advent Children at the theater. And it was a brilliant movie.
But it was one night only.
But it was one night only in English dubbing. But it was a brilliant movie. And we really enjoyed it. But yes, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And coming up over the next week, we have Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, Vampire the Masquerade V5, Kansas City, A Domain Divided. We are in season 2. And y'all.
Y'all thought season 1 was rough.
Yeah, no, we coming out swinging. We started off with Callum's restaurant getting firebombed by Cat's brother. Yeah. And
Now you find out one of the eldest sleeps below you.
the eldest among us sleeps below us. And when my character hears that, she's going to flip the fuck out, and you'll find out why on Friday. And so basically...
Met a nice werewolf, though.
a really nice werewolf that Bo the Toreador now has a bit of a crush on.
Hey, every vampire wants to walk on the wild side at least once.
Especially them damn Toreadors. But
Man, if only you had met a tribe that would have actually even accepted that advance.
Oh, snap.
Oopsie. But yeah. And so there's some fun stuff. And of course, Mischievous Red will be back with us. She was just out last week. So we'll have Gwen back in our episode this week, and
They get to tell Gwen what happened.
yeah, she's
Gwen
working
never
on her
divided.
business stuff, which will be good. So yeah, so join us at 8 p.m. on Friday for that session, and then on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, you can join Tiss and her crew of investigators in Call of Cthulhu 7E London Esoteric Society as they traipse around, Victorian London and surrounding areas, getting into all the sus-ass shit that they should not be and summoning things they should not, and basically going insane. So
And injuring Mortuus this time.
and injuring Mortuus this recent time. Yeah. So join them at 3 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, and you can also catch your any. And then we'll be back here on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern with the next session of Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages, the Transylvania Chronicle.
Yep. It's 13-14's a fun year for this crew, apparently. We'll see. And Judy, let everybody know where they can find you, what you got going on down there in the corner.
I'm on the internet. Shh, don't tell anyone. I'm on all social medias as Junie Von Esch. You can see me on my own channel, which I will be working on all of the sus-ass shit, as well as my own stuff. I'm still working on Will, and I'm working on Lovey Good. So those two are being done. I'm also as of right now, 2 episodes almost done for Chicago Last Breath over on the RPG table. And we will be taking a break after that because, I mean, I've been doing it for how long? Yeah, we need a little bit of a break. I need to recharge. And, you know, I know, right? Also, you will see me on Roll Call. You will also see me here. So there's a lot of places. And when Ravenos comes back swinging, I will be on 7th Sea over on his channel. So a lot of things happening.
And Ravenos Archon isn't here, but check out on our friends that we posted, Ravenos Archon's channel. He's not streaming this week, I'm pretty sure, but check out his channel. He'll be back. Can't keep a good man down.
Yep.
You can't keep him down. Not when there's bananas around for him to have.
That's right.
Yep. Maddox, what you got going on?
Well, Shanky, oddly enough, I am the storyteller for Changeling the Dreaming Stained Glass on a small studio called McStabber Studios. You might have heard of them.
I have never heard of that crew.
It's full of punks. You're fine.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I'm so happy that I can finally pimp something, even if it's on the channel I'm already on.
And that will be returning sooner than we first anticipated. We are right now, granted, this is always subject to change as things have to be switched around occasionally due to extenuating circumstances. But right now we're looking at returning to Changeling Season 2 around the middle of June. Because we have some plans for coming up after this Dark Ages season ends. So
with added cast member Evie Eternal.
I just want to say what kind of edgelord calls himself Shanky McStabber. That's all.
You didn't call yourself that. You got named.
Yeah, some edgelord shit right there.
The best names are given to you. Mine, Mama McStabber, was given to me. Okay?
And hey, it's not Darkness Vow Eben Swear or some shit like that.
Call me Night Pain.
It always sounds cringe.
Just call me Night Pain, okay? I'll be Night Pain.
Oh my God. Okay, the 90s wants their edgelord name back, please and thank you.
I just had to go there, just cause. And as always, everybody, mental health, it's not a joke, it's not a laughing matter. Please take mental health seriously. Check in on those around you, family, friends, loved ones, people you haven't heard from for a while, and make sure they're okay, because a lot of people are not. And if you suffer from mental health issues like many of us do, it's okay to not be okay. That's the first thing I want to tell you is there's nothing wrong with admitting that you need help. And if you're in crisis or think you could be in crisis or just need to reach out and you don't have a support network, in chat's a list of numbers you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There'll be a professional on the other end of the line to help you out. And if you're not in the U.S., because I know we have a number of non-U.S. viewers, some of them in chat tonight, go to findahelpline.com. You can put in your country of origin and get the support lines in your country because mental health is health and we want you to take care of yourselves. And now I can turn it over to my lovely wife for her portion of the outro.
I'm Mama McStabber. I'm a registered nurse and I've been a registered nurse for, honestly, at this point, a long damn time. I'm going to tell you, please take care of yourselves. Get your goddamn vaccines. COVID is not going anywhere. Flu is not going anywhere. And both of those still hospitalize and kill people. We've never learned to cure the common cold. We've never cured any virus.
God damn it, measles is back because of idiots.
Yep. Please get your fucking vaccines, your boosters, everything. Make sure you're up to date. Make sure you've got a fucking tetanus shot. Because a lot of times when I ask people, when I do assessments, hey, when was the last time you got a tetanus shot? They're like, I don't remember. Yeah, get your fucking tetanus shot, for real.
99.
Yeah. Yeah, you're supposed to have one every 10 years. So yeah, please get your shit taken care of. And also make sure you take care of getting things like physicals done, getting checkups when you're not feeling well, things like that. Please take care of your body, because it's what's going to sustain you. And with it, take care of the mind, because they both work together. It's hard to take care of one without taking care of the other. So please take care of yourselves. And lastly, y'all know Mama's a bit political, okay? At one point in my life, I actually worked for a U.S. fucking senator. So I'm going to tell you right now, make sure you're registered to vote. Please. It is primary season. It is primary season. Primaries have already happened. There was one last night. Literally, primaries are happening. A lot of states have closed primaries. So when you register, you need to make sure you are registered with a party that you want to participate in that primary for. Please participate in the primaries. Primaries are important, not just for president, but also for your, Senate, House representatives, for your local representatives, for your state representatives. They all primary. You can get the ones you want on your ballots by participating in the primaries. So please do so. It is important. And then make sure you're planning to vote come November in the actual election. Also, if you're already registered, double check it because there could be an error. The people that do this stuff, they're human. So sometimes they can make errors. Sometimes the errors are intentional. But you know what? Seriously, check it. Make sure it's correct. And double check that it is still active because there are some states that literally try to go the route of voter suppression by purging rolls of voters. So please, please, please double check your registration if you're already registered and fucking vote. Every goddamn election, even primaries. Said with love.
And I thank everyone for coming in. Thank you for sticking with us, even though we were out last week. We'll be back next week and continue on. So thank you all for coming. Good night, everybody.